There are moments when I feel like I share your tendency for people to assume I'm cruel or that I'm a particular kind of person. In fact, I'm among the kindest people. Do you understand what I mean? She never did this when she came to me because Remy isn't genuinely sorry, or she is. Let's go right to the point, everyone. Papoose is tired of Remy Ma's antics. Rumor has it that he confronted her and demanded that she sign the divorce papers right away. Sis, though, isn't giving up. Why? Pat might just hit her pocket for the alimony check if she does. Furthermore, let's not pretend that Pat doesn't have a strong argument for it. While she was imprisoned, he kept her down for more than 10 years. She pushed her career, reared her son, and now wants to delay the divorce. After cheating and moving on. Oh, we must enter this mess. Being noisy on the internet is not Papoose's style. In the background, however, she has been requesting this divorce for some time. The man has pleaded with Remy to release him, but each time he does, his sister makes up an explanation, and he's had enough now. He suddenly appeared before her and demanded to know things like, "What's the holdup, Remy? You're attempting to keep me legally bound to you after publicly humiliating me and running off with an EZA 2-block captain." However, O'Reilly's energy abruptly changed when he brought up alimony. Sis has been shaken since. Let's face it, she is aware that if she gets a divorce, after all those years of loyalty, Pat could just come for the bag. We all witnessed Remy acting like a high school sweetheart as she paraded around with easy-to-block captain chasing. Even though she was still legally married to Pat, she had the audacity to rap about him in a battle, thus admitting that she was in love with someone else. It was loud and disrespectful. Just once, believe me. You want to be on the front lines, don't you? Hey Remy, are you not in love with me? You see, the punchline is right there. Here's the thing though, Easy has already moved on. Yes, Mr. Block. In favor of 2 younger women, the captain left Remy behind. She also wants to start acting like she has unresolved business right now, alongside Pep. She didn't mind treating this man disrespectfully, but now that her own life is unraveling, she wants to keep him from being happy. Makes sense, everyone? Pep has already acquired a genuine one. Unbeaten boxing champion Clarissa Shields is a self-made millionaire. She is also more than just a badass Instagram user. Sis is the most successful tire in terms of winning. Yes. I adore him. Having his support is wonderful. You understand what I mean? His assistance differs greatly from what I've received in the past. He also speaks to me in a totally distinct way. There you have it. Each is something we deserve. Ready to take things to the next level. Clarissa has been riding for Pap, singing to him and wishing him a happy birthday. And Pap was prepared to adorn it with a ring. Tut arranged a Valentine's Day trip to Hawaii and was set to pop the question. But Remy spoiled the plans by refusing to sign the paperwork. Now that another woman is controlling her relationship, Clarissa is furious. Remy wants to play keep away because her brief relationship with Easy didn't work out, but Pap is prepared to move on. This is where things become really messy. Reportedly, Remy is not stalling because he is in love. That money is causing her to put things off. You see, Pep was more than simply her spouse. He served as her PR team, manager, and staunchest ally. Pep preserved Remy's reputation during her 6-year incarceration. While she was incarcerated, he had her mixtapes popping, raised her son, and promoted her music. Rooney has a clothing line and is currently valued at over $4 million. Album royalties are checked by TV. She had a lovely bag on her lap. Pap, meanwhile, has a far lower net worth. To be honest, he gave up his profession to support hers. Of course, when it comes to long-term financial relationships and marriages, don't play. They make sacrifices based on the length of their marriage. 11 years? That's long enough. All right. It's disparities in income. Rimway produces a lot more. Who backed whom? It's considered Pap to be her rock. Therefore, Pap may receive that check. If he brings this to court, we are only discussing half of it. Remy is aware of this because she is not attempting to sign the documents. Remy began to be petty. She disclosed the private text between Clarissa and Pap. She had claimed that Pap had threatened to report her to the police. She even made fun of Clarissa's appearance. Grow up, girl. Clarissa is finished being polite now. If Remy keeps fighting, sis, a full-time professional fighter might just run across these hands both inside and outside the ring. Hold on now. For a moment, let's turn this entire situation around. What happens if Pap doesn't truly move on? What if the goal of this whole thing is to exact revenge on Remy for making him look foolish rather than to fall in love with Clarissa? Here's the thing, you see. Pap had no wish to part from Remy. For more than 10 years, this man had a strong affection for her. Through incarceration, he waited for her. He stayed devoted to her even when the suspicions of adultery first arose. Pat only gave up when Remy became too cocky about publicly hugging the captain, who was very easy to block. And let's face it, he reared her child, restored her career, and created an entire fairy tale out of their marriage. 'Cause Pap seems to be the type of guy that prefers his women to be thuggish, but feminine. And let's face it, Clarissa has a tomboy spirit. That equilibrium was Remy's. However, he was ejected because that was not his intention. He is currently seeing Clarissa Shields, who is completely devoted to him. Is he truly all for her, though? Now, Clarissa is out here trying really hard to be very feminine for him. Does it even fit his tastes, though? Furthermore, his actions around her, while Pat is merely present but not as enthusiastic as Clarissa. She is out there pinning lines that captivate him and display him like a trophy. Only the two of us, we are able to make it. I'm present because it annoys Remy because, let's be honest, Pep has never had an untidy personality, is never spoken out about black loyalty and affection. But now that he's in a new relationship, it's making public jokes about Remy that don't sound like a man in love to make sure others notice. When men are genuinely in love, they don't move on so fast. Perhaps they may reunite or host a new person, but not to move on completely that fast. What will happen when Clarissa discovers this is the question now, 'cause she is giving it her best. What if, however, Pap is merely using her to infuriate Remy? What happens if he wakes up one day and finds that he still desires his wife's return? It's a heavy heartbreak. Clarissa might be in for an unpleasant awakening. And since this was mentioned in the first remark I saw, I'm not the only fan that feels this way, because she seems to be going hard for Papoose and he constantly seems to be in the background. Seeming as though he's not on what she is, I believe Clarissa will end up crushed by him. She is attempting to be very feminine for him, which makes her awkward and tomboyish. Since he wasn't attempting to leave Remy prior to her cheating, I believe he's only taking pleasure in getting even with her. But he's on some get back because he's in love. So I don't think he's truly moved on. Be concerned. I want to see Clarissa happy, but I'm not sure if Pap and Remy will divorce. Young and impressionable, Clarissa is unsure of what she is getting herself into. Pap cheated in the song according to Remy, but no one noticed, since Pap is all about his bag and will never love anybody like Remy. I hope she doesn't get injured by the things he says about Clarissa and other girls. Tell me who you're supporting, please. I'm not sorry. Clarissa for being a real one, and putting up with all this insanity, or Remy for being broke and Yoon for being tied to a man she no longer wants. Share your ideas in the comments section.